What's good guys, this is the Oneplus 5T and we're going to do a battery charging speed test of this against the very best smartphones out there. Just before we get right into it, I've got loads of Oneplus 5T coverage coming up and a giveaway in December, so make sure you subscribe for that and let's get right into it. Before we dive right into the head-to-head comparison, there is one thing worth pointing out. Whilst both OnePlus phones are going to charge with 20 watts of output, the Google Pixel 2 XL charger only supports 18 watts, the Samsung only 15 watts, and the Apple iPhone 1 inside the box only 5 watts. Alright, so all of these phones have been drained so that they are sitting on 0%. And when you plug them in for the first time, the iPhone will automatically power up. So to keep this test fair, we're going to power up all the phones, put them on airplane mode, and then keep them on standby. Now you will notice whilst the OnePlus 5T does have a larger display compared to the OnePlus 5, it doesn't have a larger battery to support that. However, that's obviously going to be more significant for the battery drain test compared to the battery charge test we're doing here. After just 5 minutes, you can see both OnePlus phones have stormed ahead. And after passing 10 minutes, this trend is drastically exaggerated. And interestingly, the OnePlus 5T is actually ahead of the OnePlus 5. It's very possible that some minor software tweaks have allowed the 5T to charge even faster than the 5, we'll find out towards the end of this video. Whilst it seems like a small difference which could very well be down to margin of error, it seems unlikely because the 5T cable was actually plugged in a couple of seconds after the 5 cable. You can also see something interesting happening with the Pixel 2 XL and the Galaxy S8 Plus. Now, the Galaxy S8 Plus, whilst it was very behind to begin with, has completely caught up with the Pixel 2 XL, and that agrees with some of the reports I've read on the device. Apparently, whilst the Pixel 2 XL is capable of 18-watt charging, it only does this at the very beginning, and very quickly slows down to a 10.5-watt charging. So as long as the Samsung continues to charge at 15 watts, it's very likely to overtake the Pixel 2 XL. Meanwhile, of course, the iPhone 8 Plus is sitting right at the back end. It's on 20% after 30 minutes, which is really quite bad. Mind you, the iPhone 8 Plus does support fast charging, which isn't being used here, but unfortunately Apple doesn't include the fast charger in the box, and the fact of the matter is 90% of the people who buy the phone are just going to use the charger that's included. So I will add the fast charging score of the iPhone 8 Plus at the end just for comparison, but bear in mind that you'll have to pay another $80 or so to get it. Now, as we approach the hour mark, you'll see the OnePlus 5T and the OnePlus 5 are sitting pretty at the top. They have completely separated themselves from the other three phones and are very closely tied. In fact, since almost the very beginning, the 5T has remained about 1% ahead of the 5, which again is an unusually small difference, but at the same time is encouraging. Now, as we notice when we're charging any of these phones, as you approach the 100% fully charged mark, the charging slows down dramatically. And that is something we are definitely observing right now with the 5T and the 5. Even though at the 1 hour mark these phones were already well past 90%, we are still sitting here at 1 hour 20 and they've not fully charged. Meanwhile, whilst all attention has been on the OnePlus smartphones, you might have noticed that Samsung has pulled almost 10% ahead of the Pixel 2 XL. So we've just hit 1 hour 28 and the OnePlus 5T has reached 100%, whilst the OnePlus 5 is sitting pretty close at 99%. But don't forget, whilst that may only seem like 1 percentage point of a difference, which it kind of is, because charging gets this much slower as you reach the top, it's actually a little bit more than that. And it's not until we hit the 1 hour and 33 minute mark that the OnePlus 5 actually fully charges, which means the OnePlus 5T actually charged a full 5 minutes and roughly 5% faster than the OnePlus 5, which is a pretty gigantic achievement considering how fast that phone already is. And it's safe to say that's a fairly representative result. Both the OnePlus 5T and the OnePlus 5 I'm using here are fresh out the box, so neither has had enough time for the batteries to deteriorate. Almost the second we hit the 1 hour 40 mark, the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus fully charges, and the Pixel 2 XL has now passed 90%. But here we start to observe something really odd, because whilst the Pixel 2 XL is definitely charging at a much higher wattage than the iPhone 8 Plus is, it is edging very slowly towards the 100% mark. And I did check this on some forums before I posted this video to make sure that's actually what others are experiencing too, and it is. Interestingly, between 2 hours and 2 hours 10, the iPhone 8 Plus jumps up a whole 15%, but the Google Pixel 2 XL jumps 5%. It's not as if there's something wrong with my charger, it even says at the bottom it is charging as it's meant to be charging, it's just a result of the wattage. Anyway, it is good to see at 2 hours and 28, the Pixel 2 XL does finish just before the iPhone 8 Plus. So far a pretty interesting and somewhat surprising set of results. Just before I compile it all together into a conclusion, don't forget to smash that subscribe button for the upcoming content on the OnePlus 5T as well as that future giveaway. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Amazingly, the iPhone 8 Plus didn't finish charging until 3 hours and 2 minutes, which is pretty bad, and puts it significantly behind the Pixel 2 XL at 2 hours and 28. Now that is much slower than the Galaxy S8 Plus at 1 hour 40, a phone which does have a similar capacity, and the OnePlus 5 was sitting there in second place at 1 hour 33. So I'm happy to say the OnePlus 5T came in first place with 1 hour 28, and it seems like in terms of charging speed, we have a new champion. Thanks a lot for watching guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'm signing out.